Hello there, welcome to my channel. I'm going to be showing you how I made this really cute bento cake box greeting card. I actually made this card in Cricut Design Space and I'm just using basic shapes. I made this for my cousin for her 34th birthday. She absolutely loved this card and I just think this is such a cute, unique design. I honestly haven't seen this anywhere else. The link to this project will be posted below in the description box, and you will need to upload your own images to customize this card. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you can see I have everything cut out already. This is pretty much all the supplies that I'm going to be using for this project. You're going to want some double-sided tape. You are going to want to have some sort of glue on hand, some tweezers, and then some foam dots because we're going to add dimension to the cupcakes. And then I also have this hot glue gun. I'm going to be using this hot glue gun to put the flowers onto the card. I just feel like it's just way more secure. And then that way, once the card goes into the envelope, the flowers won't, come off because those will more than likely rub up against the envelope. So let's go ahead and start assembling this beautiful card. Go ahead and demonstrate how I put together the cupcakes, and then I'll just fast forward, or maybe I won't fast forward, I don't know. I'll just fast forward the rest. So let me go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so I have my camera kind of zoomed in so you can really see what I'm doing. So first I'm going to go ahead and add this is the icing, or not the icing, no, this is the actual cupcake. So this will be the actual cupcake. I'm gonna go ahead and put some double-sided tape on. Now you can use glue, like I said before, you can use glue for this. You don't have to use double-sided. I just like double-sided tape because it's less messy. So that is my preference. But again, you can do this however you want to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and peel the backing off. And then I'm going to place it right over. You want to make sure that it's centered. So one thing that helps me make sure that this is actually centered is I kind of put the circle. I don't press it down yet, but I kind of put it like toward the edge like this. And then I kind of just do like that just to make sure that it'll look somewhat centered. And then I just press it down. It's still not perfectly centered, but it's on there. So we have that. And then for the image that I'm going to use Angel. As I mentioned before, I like to add dimension. So I'm going to be using these foam squares. You can use anything to glue this down, but if you want some dimension, you want to either use like some sort of mounting tape or some sort of like foam circle, something like that to get that dimension. Then I'm going to just place her. Sorry, you guys, I'm trying to keep this centered. Place her right in the center like so. And now we have our first cupcake. It's really cute. Now you can see the dimension. It just looks more like realistic. But like I said, you can just use glue. You don't have to use the foam squares. So now I'm just going to put together the rest of the cupcakes, and then I'll move to the next step. So for the actual cupcake swirls, we're going to follow the same steps. We're going to have our cupcake liner, our cupcake, and then this is the actual icing. So I have this regular circle and then I have the actual swirl. So we just follow the same steps. You can use some sort of glue to glue that down, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but it'll be the same thing. And then it'll look like that. have all of our beautiful cupcakes, that we're gonna put on our card. It looks so cute. So now we're gonna move on to the next step, which is gonna be, let me see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and glue the flowers together and put the rhinestones onto the flowers that will be actually going around this calendar. And the flowers just act as the icing on the cake, but since it's the card, we're gonna use flowers. So let's go ahead and do that. Now this part of making this card is very tedious. So yeah, be prepared to spend some time on these flowers. You can just put some music on in the background or watch a show or something while you're doing this, but this is a tedious process. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna just demonstrate how I glue the flowers together. Like I said before, I'm gonna be using hot glue for the flowers just so they can be real secure, but I'm just gonna show y'all how I do it. So I'm just gonna put a very small dot. It doesn't have to be big, just very, very small. Actually, before I do that, let me have the other flower ready. That way I can just have it. Very small dot. Let me see if that can focus. Yep. Very, very small, like that. And then I just take the other flower and I just layer it together like this. And we have our first flower. So I'm gonna do that for all of the flowers. You don't have to use hot glue. You can use regular glue. I just like hot glue because it just makes it really, really secure. So I'll go ahead and finish the rest. Okay, so we have all of our flowers complete. Well, they're not complete yet because what I'm going to do actually is add some rhinestones in the center of the flower, which is going to make the card really, really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to be using these rhinestones that I got off Amazon. I'll see if I can find it on my Amazon and link it below if you guys want to go ahead and purchase these, but they are great for just adding, you know, some pizzazz to whatever project that you're working on. I use rhinestones in, I would say 60% of my cards that I make for people or for my customers. So they also do come in different colors, I believe. So I'll link it below once I can find the link. And I'm going to go ahead and just add these to the flowers. Okay, so we have our flowers ready, and I'm just gonna set these aside to let these dry. And while those are drying, we can go ahead and put together our butterflies that'll be going onto the card. This is a pretty self-explanatory step, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna show y'all how I put together the butterfly. So I'm just gonna take this and then just apply glue to the back of the butterfly. All right, we have our glue applied to the back. Now I'm gonna take my tweezers. You don't have to have tweezers, but it just makes it way easier, especially if you have on like long nails or something, or you just don't want to get glue on your hand. I just take my tweezers, and then it makes the placement easier as well. And then I'm just gonna put that right on top of the back. And then I'll do the other one off camera. Okay, so we are pretty much done with that part of the card. We have our cupcakes, we have our butterflies, and then we have our flowers. So now we're gonna just move on to actually folding the greeting card. This is gonna, let me zoom out a little bit. This will be our card base. We're gonna fold this over, and then that'll be the base of the card. And then we'll go ahead and put the box on top of it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna score my card base. That way when I fold it over, it'll be a nice neat crease in the middle of the card and the paper won't look like it's cracking. This is a 10x7 sheet of paper, so our card is going to be A7 once I fold it over. So I'm just going to place it on my scoring thingy. And where it says A7, I'm just going to score it right there. Now you can see we have our folding line in the middle. You can actually use your Cricut machine to score your paper. You don't have to do this by hand, but I prefer to do it by hand just because I don't know. I just like doing it by hand. But there's different ways if you have a machine that can score, definitely you can use that. And then we have our card base. Oh. So now let's move on to the next step. All right, time for the fun part. We have our bento cake box liner. And then we just need to glue this down. So I'm gonna go ahead and put, I don't know if I'm gonna use glue or double-sided tape. I think I'm gonna use glue. I'm gonna go ahead and put glue all on the back of this and then place it down onto the card base. All right, so we have our glue on the back. And now we're just going to place it right down onto the card. And everything should line up perfectly. Boom. All right, so I'm just gonna let this sit for a quick minute, maybe for like a minute or two, and just let it kind of dry. And then we'll go ahead and start putting everything in the card. Okay, you guys, so we can start adding in our cupcakes and everything else. So I'm gonna just start adding these in. You can glue these down however you want to. How I do it is I just kind of lay everything out just to see how it's gonna look. Put that one right there. And then I like to put the swirls right here. And then our calendar, our birthday calendar right now. And that's pretty much how everything will look. And I'm gonna just start gluing everything. Okay, so let's start putting everything in the center. What I'm gonna do is just turn this around. Actually, if you want to add some more dimension, you can use some foam squares, foam circles, whatever you have that will add dimension to the, actually, I think that's what I would do. I think that would be cute, yeah. I'm gonna add some dimension, so I'm actually gonna use this foam square. Maybe I should add like some around it. And then I'm just going to place it down. I don't know why this is not sticking, but just gonna place it down like so. That's actually really, really cute. And I'm gonna do that for the rest of them and I will be back. Okay, you guys, so we are just about done with our card. Now all we have to do is add our flowers around the calendar, and that's gonna make the cake. So you can see this flower is kind of flat. excuse me, but I want to give it some dimension. So what I'm going to do is just kind of bend it up. I'm going to press down on it, press down on the center, and just like kind of bend it up like that. You don't have to be like super aggressive with it, but uh-oh, our rhinestone is kind of, but it should look something like this. You can see it has that dimension. I'm gonna take my hot glue gun and just apply a little bit to the back of this flower. And then go ahead and place it down like so. And I'm just gonna do the same thing to the rest of the flowers. Okay, you guys, so we are pretty much complete with our card. This is so cute. I'm extra, so I added in some rhinestones and the butterflies. I added this purple bow just to complement the purple a little bit more on the card. And I actually have this extra flower, and I think I'm gonna place it on top of one of the cupcakes because I don't like to waste anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And yeah, we are complete. Now for the inside of the card, you can add a message, pictures, whatever you want to add. I think I'm going to leave it blank for now, because like I said, I might end up selling this card. But this is so cute, you guys. This is so freaking cute.